Hello, Practicum students. You're receiving this email to highlight some important changes with Practicum for 2020. You also have been identified as an individual who needs Practicum before the end of the year. So make sure you watch this entire video and make sure you read the email as well, because there's some big changes that we're doing to Practicum that we've already done for existing students that are out there, but we're going to be doing this for the entire year. And what are those changes? Well, the first one is effective immediately, is that we are canceling physical Practicum for the entire year. Okay, for 2020, for the entire year, physical Practicum is canceled. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, COVID-19 is not going to last all year. Probably by May, June, and hopefully July, we're kind of somewhat normal, but with social distancing. Why can't I go to Practicum after all that's cleared? Well, the problem is that the groundwork necessary to get clinical contracts in place for you folks for Practicum takes months and months of lead time. And hospitals, hospital systems, nobody is talking Practicum right now. Legal departments are not looking, extensively at clinical contracting right now. So everything's kind of frozen on that point. Those of you that are out in Practicum, you know this. You know it took many months to get your clinical contracts in place. Without that work being done like right now, folks will not be able to start in August. So the numbers really all add up. The math came pretty well self-evident that there's just no way logistically that with any degree of confidence that we could pull off Practicum in this environment the way things are now for the rest of the year. So what does that mean for you? Do you not have to do Practicum? Well, you don't have to do physical Practicum, but what we do have is a virtual field-based research Practicum experience that you'll still be required to do. It's something that can be done under quarantine, at a distance, social distancing. It's very friendly to that. We have some students that are already doing that now, kind of refining the process as we go along, because things move pretty quickly initially. But there is still a Practicum experience for you. You're still required to take Practicum, but physical Practicum is done. We're going to be doing what we call field-based research. For those of you that aren't doing that yet, don't worry, you'll learn more about that a couple of weeks before your course starts, your Practicum course starts. You'll receive an email from me highlighting the field-based research project that you'll be working on. And you'll have all kinds of exciting options, and you can shape how that looks and a lot of stuff like that. But don't worry about that now. But just know that you do not need to attend physical Practicum for the remainder, for the year at all. Those of you that are doing the field-based research and hoping to go back to physical Practicum, unfortunately, that is not on the table anymore. So again, for 2020, beating this like a dead horse, but for 2020, no physical Practicum, for the entire year. All right, let's take a look at the email real quickly here and just highlight some other things. That was the major announcement. But again, physical Practicum canceled for 2020. You'll still schedule HCA 565 as per your normal scheduling requirements. So that's, you still schedule the course. It's just going to be kind of a different course, different format for the course than before. The Castle Branch requirements. So those of you that are going through Castle Branch right now, and you please cease that, because Castle Branch is only required for physical if you're going out physically. So if you're not going out physically, don't worry about Castle Branch. You don't know how big of a deal that is for you. So for the students that went through Castle Branch, it's a very difficult background check, health screens. There's a lot of documentation required. It is truly a cumbersome process, but it's required by clinical sites if you're going out there physically. Now that that's been discontinued, I guess the silver lining is you don't need to worry about Castle Branch requirements. So please just continue doing any of that. If you're starting practicum in the summer or fall, again, you'll receive information about virtual practicum, the field-based research, about 2 weeks before the course starts. I'll send you an email. There is a little bit of groundwork that you'll need to do to identify a field-based project, and you'll identify kind of a research leader out in the field. But again, we'll have about 2 weeks lead time to that. It should be more than enough time for you to identify that and get ready for the course when the course starts. Here's the other thing. So if you really want to attend physical practicum, as originally described, where you're working with side by side with a preceptor, we don't want to take that away from you. We want to keep that an option, but of course, we're shaped by the environment. We physically can't do it right now, and logistically, even if the green light was to, clear in 2 weeks, we couldn't even logistically, again, without any degree of confidence, get people ready for even August practicum. So, again, if you do want to do that, we don't want to take that option away from you. What it would mean, though, is a pretty significant sacrifice on your part in that you would have to delay your graduation. And if you're looking at starting practicum in realistically, we'd be looking at January 21. And it would probably stretch over 2 semesters. So you're looking, at delaying your graduation, maybe almost up to a year in some cases for some of you, at least 6 months. So again, it's there if you want it. But again, you just know the sacrifice would be that you're going to delay the graduation, because since it is a graduation requirement, before we can check that box and say that you're a graduate, we have to have all those courses completed, and then we can confer the degree. So even if there's just one course hanging out there, you do not have a conferred degree. So keep that in mind. If my guess is many of you are probably not going to choose this, but again, there might be 1 or 2 of you that may want to choose that. Please contact me directly so we can work out a plan for you to kind of go back out in practicum. But again, it's not going to be until 2021. So yeah, again, it's really a trade-off. But again, it's there for you if you really, really want that. All right, so those are some of the basics that's going on with this whole change that's going on. If you have any questions, you saw that text me. Some of you have been texting me. If we need to talk longer format, we'll arrange a time to talk about in a longer format. Again, I know that we've all been impacted by a lot of change, working from home and all kinds of other things. Some of our colleagues and some of our students have been furloughed from their jobs. I mean, there's been a lot of impact, and of course, I appreciate your flexibility with the changes to practicum that we've had to make throughout all of this. But I think the field-based research project, if it's done right and if you package it right, can be just as powerful. If not, I mean, it could actually be even more powerful than a field-based experience. And we could talk more about that, but you gotta package it right and do it right and promote it right, and it could really open up a lot of additional doors for you. But that's something we can talk about as we get as I work with you in developing your field-based assignments and work, and how you're going to leverage it. And fancy words, but there are ways to leverage that project as an actual real deliverable to folks of interest that you may have an interest in employment or advancement into, and that may really set yourself apart from just a traditional practicum experience. There's great things in physical practicum. You meet people. Connections are great because you're meeting a lot more people. You'll still have some connections with people with field-based research, but it's probably realistically might be just a small group of people, and it will be through email or video or Zoom or something like that. And it won't be as extensive, but could still be very impactful, kind of checking off a lot of the original boxes that we wanted checked off for you guys in taking practicum. Practicum is all about career advancement. giving you more opportunities in that. It's not just a way to, you know, let's make a group of students take this course that they really don't want to take. We've seen it with the baccalaureate program that for certain individuals that, you know, may not have that exposure yet, they're really at a disadvantage when going for advancements in jobs. So we wanted to give that, trying to give you a level playing field to other individuals. And I think we can still pretty much do that, if in some cases maybe even excel beyond that with field-based research. But I'll talk more about that as we get deeper into the course and you learn more about what you're doing with that field-based research project. All right, guys, again, any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Everybody stay safe out there and have a fantastic week. Thanks.